The Raw on Netflix debut was weird. I absolutely loved so many moments on it. I had so much fun watching most of it, but there were a few moments, specifically one, which I absolutely hated, and honestly was as nonsensical as part of the MJF and Adam Cole storyline, which you guys know I hate. But there's a lot to get into, so let's get straight into it. Welcome to Allison Analysis. I'm Ben Allison and I've analysed last night's episode of Raw on Netflix, and here are my 5 key findings. In at number 5, the production was off the charts. This was probably, in fact not probably, definitely the best production any episodic TV show in wrestling has ever had. From the lighting to the graphics to the stage, it felt like a big deal. It felt larger than life. It felt almost like a WrestleMania in many ways. And I know some people have issues with the ring mat, and I do understand that. Personally, for me, I do like black ring mats, but also I've known these sponsor logos were coming. I literally said it the day that Endeavor acquired WWE, that this was blatantly going to happen, and indeed it now has. So it's not too big of a surprise for me. It is going to take a little bit of getting used to, but realistically, as frustrating as it is, this was always going to happen. My only issue production-wise was I did feel they spent a bit too much time showing the celebrities in the crowd. I understand why they did it. They wanted to show that, hey, WWE is mainstream now, and that makes a lot of sense. It's very sensible, but I think they could have gone through these celebrities a little bit quicker. At times, especially with the baby reindeer guy, the camera was on him for like 20 seconds, and he was like so awkward about it, and I understand it. Like, imagine you've gone to a show, you're trying to enjoy yourself, of course you're going to be shown on screen, but for that long, it's just a little bit awkward. The one thing which is quite interesting is the ad breaks internationally outside of the US are no longer existent. What we get instead is, well, during matches we can just see the matches, which is awesome, but then between matches we get these promos. And this is where I do think I'm going to end up having a little bit of an issue. Because don't get me wrong, seeing stars have more promo time is always great, but these promos aren't going to massively affect storylines because, after all, the US viewers aren't able to watch them. So I think they're going to get a little bit stale, a little bit repetitive as the weeks go on, considering this is going to be the case for both Raw and SmackDown internationally. In at number 4, Rhea Ripley standing alongside The Undertaker is an all-time moment. Rhea Ripley is champion once again. She has dethroned Liv Morgan in what was a really fun match. Now, what was really interesting about this was quite a few people who very rarely watch wrestling but watched this texted me saying they thought this was the best match on the show. They preferred this to Rollins versus Punk, and that did quite surprise me, but that's some awesome praise. And I know some people, especially hardcore fans, aren't happy about the Undertaker stuff, how Undertaker came out and had that random moment with Rhea Ripley. Instead, they were hoping for somebody like a Becky Lynch to return. And hey, I understand that, but at the same time, more casual fans, more lapsed fans were watching this than ever before, and everybody knows who the Undertaker is, but not everybody may know who Rhea Ripley is or know too much about her. But seeing her standing alongside The Undertaker, while her stock has just gone up, it was an incredible moment, and I will defend it for that. Now, would I have liked to see Becky return? Absolutely, but this moment, it was fantastic. In at number 3, the lack of surprise returns on the Netflix debut did not bother me. Us wrestling fans have always and always will set expectations too high. It is what we do, it is what we have always done, and it will continue, unfortunately. But WWE never said, hey, we're going to have tons of surprise returns on Raw Netflix. They never said that. We got Cena, we got The Rock, and yes, they were both announced ahead of time, but when it came to surprises, we got The Undertaker, which, like I said, was fantastic, and then Hulk Hogan, which obviously backfired massively and was very clearly a mistake, but it was still a lot of fun. Now, the one thing I will complain about is they said that these teasers for this wrestler, who we know is Pentagon Jr., it's literally his mask they're showing, they said that he was going to turn up on this episode. In the crowd, everybody had Penta signs and everything like that. Everyone was so excited, and then they just didn't do it. And they announced it's happening next week instead. I mean, that is the one thing which I think they messed up on, because if you know you're not going to have that many surprise returns or surprises on this show, you can't take away the ones which you have heavily, heavily teased. In case you guys didn't know, here at Wrestling Republic, we do a live daily podcast every single day at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific, live on YouTube and Twitch. You guys can comment along throughout, and we show your comments as well. It is completely free. We're the only wrestling site to do that for completely free, 7 days a week. And honestly, it's always a blast. We'd love to see you guys there. And if you could like and subscribe over on YouTube, that does massively help us. It helps us to do more videos like this. That is all we ask. Our content is entirely free, but just please like, subscribe, and if you do like it, a share is always so appreciated. Thank you. In at number 2, a Seth Rollins heel turn is on the horizon. After falling short in an absolute banger against CM Punk, which my only complaint was I thought there was maybe a couple too many kickouts from big moves, but regardless, it was a banger. But coming out of it, I do think we're about to see a heel turn for Seth Rollins. Throughout the match, he was getting more and more aggressive. He was ignoring the referee more and more. And every time the crowd were chanting for CM Punk, you could see the look on Seth Rollins' face. He was getting frustrated more and more every single time. And after a few years of babyface Seth Rollins, I am ready to see the heel return. Perhaps have CM Punk and Seth Rollins both in the Royal Rumble match, and have CM Punk eliminate Seth Rollins. At this point, Seth Rollins is on the outside, and the referees are saying, you need to go back now, you need to go back through to backstage, but he pushes them away. He gets back in the ring, and he takes out CM Punk. He attacks him, he hits him with a stomp, which then leads somebody to just very easily eliminate CM Punk, and there we are. Rollins has costed CM Punk and blatantly turned heel in the process. This feud needs to go on until WrestleMania. It deserves that stage. It truly, truly does. I don't want to see Punk versus Reigns. Down the line I do, but I don't want to see it at WrestleMania. WrestleMania needs to be Rollins versus Punk, the final chapter. It deserves that. And in at number 1, I loved the Raw on Netflix debut, but the Rock stuff was really bad. Like, really, really bad. In 2 segments, they managed to throw away a year of excellent storytelling. The segment on the Raw after Mania between Rock and Cody now makes absolutely zero sense. And not only that, but the ending to the Bad Blood PLE, which was only a couple of months ago, now makes absolutely no sense as well. Now, I do think The Rock gets too much hate. I think he's a great guy. He's a fantastic role model for so many people, and he's done so much for this business. But at the end of the day, if he could not commit to doing this year's WrestleMania, well, they should not have teased anything for it. He has dropped the ball massively with it. Because this idea of a triple threat match between Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes was excellent. It had been built so well, or even if you wanted to do the matches individually, there was so much money on the table. Fans were so invested. They had built it really well, and now suddenly, in one night, Rock has just forgiven Cody Rhodes. He's hugged him, and then he's basically passed the torch to Roman Reigns. I mean, they have literally poured money down a drain. Now, some people are saying this has ruined WrestleMania, and to those people, I think you are absolutely crazy and you are overreacting. WrestleMania will still be just fine. It will be a banger of a show, no doubt about it. But this, well, they have messed up. But overall, I really did enjoy the inaugural episode of Raw on Netflix. It will take a little bit of getting used to, of course. We saw it with the Fox debut in 2019 as well. These aren't normal shows. It does take a few weeks to really get used to what they're going to be like. But I am excited for this new era. It looks great. But most importantly, so many casuals, so many lapsed fans are talking about WWE right now. And that is fantastic. That is phenomenal for this business, which we call professional wrestling. I am hyped for the future. Let me know what you guys thought of the show down in the comments below. And I look forward to hearing from you guys in the next video. Peace.